Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the IMI Health Hour. Religion teaches us that there are two important aspects of ibadat, huququllah and huququl ibad. Our scholars, our leaders, our maraji have taught us for generations that both are equally important, but perhaps huququl ibad are more important according to certain scholars. So today I'm going to talk about an issue which has been bothering us for a long time, and that is the question of elderly care in the Western societies. I think it's a global problem, and I have personal experiences of some friends and colleagues in Pakistan and India and Southeast Asia where they're facing the similar situations, but it's worse in the Western countries as we have relocated to these regions where the domestic help and other services are not available. So I'm going to talk today about assisted living and elderly care and what services we can offer to them and what are needed. And IMI has been very active in this particular field. So I'll introduce the subject because I gave this talk recently to Daira Jafriya when we had a function on the 24th of February, and I'd like to replicate it here. So could I have my first slide, please? So this is we're going to talk about today. It's called assisted living and the elderly care. And so what I did was that during the discussion, I first introduced the role of IMI, Imami Medics International, and our journey, which started in 1994 by a student of Dar Medical College, my alma mater, and his friends. When they went to America and started looking for jobs and residency, they realized that there was a need for an association where one could meet friends, people with the same culture and faith sensitivity and things. And they started this work in 1994 in the United States of America. And now we have completed 25 years. I mean, it's a long journey, and we have traveled far and long distances in these 25 years. So Imamiya Medics International, this is a journey that I'll show you through a few slides between 1994 and 2019 and what we're hoping to achieve in the next few years, inshallah. So let's just talk about Imamiya Medics International. What services, what facets, what branches of IMI are available to the world? And allow me to say that at the moment we have branches in 21 countries, and there are more than 15,000 health professionals, doctors, nurses, paramedical, various other dentists, of course, maxillofacial surgeons, plastics, a whole lot of people, and lots of students and many volunteers, IT experts, and people who are associated with Imamiya's activities. So I'll just talk about some of the elements. Now, academic council is a very important element because basically the objective is that we should serve humanity through education and health, and that has been our motto. Healthcare management is an important aspect, and I'll talk about that in a moment, and what services IMI is offering to the world and what has changed in the last few years. And there has been a tremendous improvement in the quality of service and expansion of services in the last 2 to 3 or 5 years. Then we also believe in advocacy, and we advocate our causes, and I'll give you a few examples of the situations where we had to advocate and provide advocacy services at different levels. Then the important thing is to develop youth leadership, because we are the passing show, so to say, and our generation is moving on, but new generation has to take over. So there's a very strong element of youth leadership, and we develop we do certain courses and training programs for our youth to move forward in different fields in many countries, particularly in America and also in UK. Then we have certain missions and camps, and I'll talk about that in a moment. The very important aspect of IMI's activity is the IMI clinics that we run in different parts of the world. We also have a special status with the United Nations, so if there are any issues that we feel which are important and relevant to our community, our society, our people, then we can approach, and we are invited to United Nations in special sessions to give our opinion on various aspects related to culture and faith-sensitive issues globally. Then we're actively involved in disaster relief all over the world, and I'll give you a few examples in a moment. We have a very strong infrastructure that is based in New Jersey, in USA, and there are different branches in different countries, in the UK and Europe, in Southeast Asia, and India and Pakistan, Iran, and different countries. We have Iraq is a very strong focus, and I'll talk about that in a moment. We have a strong membership, and every day the membership is increasing, and we're encouraging young people to come forward so that they can share our experience and learn from the seniors to teach the juniors, and that has been the motto for a long, long time. So let me give you a few examples of the humanitarian programs that we conduct. We have a very strong portfolio of clinics. For example, in Pakistan, remote areas like Skardu and Johi, Gilgit, we have clinics in Karachi, in Lahore, in Islamabad, Multan, and recently we started a clinic in Parachinar a couple of years ago. In India, we have been conducting these clinics and mobile hospitals and mobile dispensaries for a long time. There is a Get Well clinic in Aligarh. There is a Get Well clinic in Hyderabad. And recently, we've started eye clinics, eye camps in Lucknow, and of course in Bombay and Bangalore. And these are all services provided through charity on voluntary basis, donations which we receive from different donor agencies and different people, mostly the members of IMI. And when these amounts are available, then we pass them on to the relevant people. We send the personnel, the technicians, the doctors, the nurses, and we carry out these various camps. In Pakistan, the major flood that was there a few years ago, we sent several teams of people for flood relief and recovery, and we also arranged for ambulance service in different areas of Pakistan which are flood afflicted. These are some examples where some of the doctors that we see. Dr. Barkat Jafri is the former president, global president, very active member, and he's always ready to go wherever he's sent. Then we had medics shelter homes during the flood. There was a lot of problem. People had to be relocated, so we provided them with temporary shelters and provided them with food and water and what was needed, clothing and blankets and things. Now these are the other things. We do mobile hospitals and field hospitals and mobile clinics in Iraq, for example, in parts of Syria as well, and also in, like I said, in Pakistan, India, and also in African countries like Somalia. We sent a few. Tahiti, we had sent a few. In Haiti, rather. Haiti, we had sent some people for services when they were needed there. We have been very actively involved in providing various appliances like wheelchairs to areas where even international agencies can't get there. For example, Najafi Foundation, based in Iraq, that is our arm for services to remote areas of Iraq and parts of Syria, where even Médecins Sans Frontières sometimes find difficult, and we have been able to assist them in providing appliances and wheelchairs and spectacles and frames and Zimmer frames and things like this to these war-afflicted areas. An iconic project of IMI Humanitarian Services is the annual Hajj mission. We've been doing it for the last almost 16 years now. Every year we send a large group of doctors, nurses, paramedics to serve the Hajjaj. And Dr. Arifin Naqvi of Pakistan heads this particular mission, and the hundreds of thousands of people are seen, and we provide them medicines and whatever relief can be provided through camps. Annual Arbaeen mission, which was established in 2010, and my friend Qasim Jafri from Ireland heads it. Every year we conduct this at two places, in Karbala and Najaf. One is close to Atabaya Basia and the other one is close to Atabaya Husseiniya. 2-3 years ago I had the great honor and the privilege to go and serve the Zawars. Last year there were I think about 130 or more doctors, nurses, paramedics and volunteers who went to serve the Zawars, and more than 150,000 people were served. We take lots of medicines, provide them with all kinds of facilities that are needed, drugs, medicines, therapies, drips, and we have people like, Hadi Kadiwal, who's an expert in pain management. He goes and provides them relief for pain, or skin specialists, plastic surgeons, orthopedic surgeons. We have all kinds of people who go and serve. This is an iconic mission which has been going on since 2010. We are actively engaged with Al-Kafil Hospital in Karbala, which is a state-of-the-art hospital, where we engage not only in providing services but also capacity building. And every year we send doctors, physicians, paramedics to this particular hospital to train the local staff and also provide them with services. For example, last year IMI donated 7 dialysis machines, and we are hoping to do more, and we constantly engage with them. There is a strong GI endoscopy unit. Saeed Bukhari, my colleague from USA, goes there and trains people and carries out surgery. Then a famous surgeon for gastroenterologist from the University of Damascus, Professor Faisal, he goes there regularly to serve and provide the best possible care to the patients over there. Not only that, he goes out to different countries to train people. So transfer of technology, capacity building, teaching, education, these are strong points. So this Al-Kafil is our base in Karbala in Iraq. And this is a hospital called Imam Al-Hujjah Hospital, built by Qazwini family. And 3 years ago, Dr. Sarwat, who is my friend, former president of IMI, professor from Massachusetts, he actually volunteered to go and establish this hospital as its administrator and chief medical officer. And last year, only in September, when I visited this place, it's an amazing state-of-the-art hospital. Lots of services expanding there. We are very actively engaged with this particular hospital in Karbala. Then it was my own interest, because I'm an ENT surgeon, and for years I've been engaged with the programs of deafness and hearing impairment at the WHO level and different regional levels and things. So in 2016 I started a small project as taking a few hearing aids to University of Kufa. And now when I appealed to people across the UK, 500 hearing aids came over to me, which was worth about £500,000. So I took those hearing aids and some equipment to the University of Kufa and started training a gentleman by the name of Habib Al-Hassani to develop a state-of-the-art center, which should be a hearing center not only for Karbala and Kufa and Najaf, but Basra and Baghdad and all the places. Now Habib has been very active. Recently, only last week, he was in Tehran attending a course, and he's traveling to different places. He was in Dubai recently, and we train them and teach them through my colleagues in the UK, Riyadh in particular, the name to be mentioned here. And we're trying to link up this center with the WHO. So it could be the regional center, more like a facilitation center for Iraq in future, and inshallah we'll succeed. Now, Imamia Medics has a network of of offices and associations and centers in different countries, Germany, Sweden. Then we have very strong unit in Australia and New Zealand, Dr. Adnan Ali. In fact, he's very active. He's a plastic surgeon. Recently, he went to Karbala and Kufa and Najaf to conduct a short conference, which was very popular, and a lot of transfer of technology and equipment and everything was provided and supplied. Then we have a strong base in Spain. We have a branch in France and Belgium, and inshallah next Saturday, which is 9th of March, we're going to Norway. Basi and Hussein Raza and my friends, we are traveling to Norway to establish a center in Norway and hopefully in the Scandinavian countries. We also like to go and tell people who are in authority, parliamentarians, and this is the first Scottish minister. We approached through the Scottish Allahabad Society 2 years ago and presented our case of the problem that the community was facing all over the world. She was extremely receptive, and we told her about the IMI's activities. Maulana Abbas Razavi of the Scottish Allahabad Society is sitting here, and Bashir Shabir Saab was chairman of the Scottish Allahabad. They helped us. So we try and tell people as to what IMI is doing, and also tell them about the grievances and the problems that the community faces in different parts of the world. Then a friend of ours, Nayyar Zaidi, was a banker. He was killed 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago in Karachi when he was traveling, just gone to see the family. And before that, of course, we've experienced ourselves. I have myself experienced the problems that our community faces across the world. So we met Baroness Brinton. She was the chairperson of the Lib Dems, and she was also in charge of the affairs of the minorities. So you can see Sayyid Yusuf Al-Khui of Al-Khui Center, who's standing on the right side of the picture. He's in London, of course, and the councillor from Kensington, Chelsea area, and myself, we presented our case, a petition for the government to look into these atrocities that were being carried out against the Shia communities across the world, particularly in Pakistan. More than 200 doctors and paramedics and nurses and dentists have been killed, or they have been chased away. Then we are very actively engaged with the projects of developing centers through telemedicine and teleconsults. So I visited Al-Kawthar University 2 years ago as the global president. I met Sheikh Najafi, and we are working towards developing centers through them into different parts of Islamabad and remote areas like in Gilgit and Baltistan, very actively involved with them. This is our center in Lahore, Mufazzatul Hayat Hospital. I was very impressed with, I think I have a picture of, maybe not, of Jamatul Urwatul Wusqa. Is a university, almost like a university. It's not fully a university, like a school with massive number of students there, about 12,000 or something, run by Qibla Agha Jawad Naqvi, who was a wonderful person, very, very well-known scholar, and he was kind enough to allow us to establish a small center in this hospital, which is in their campus, Mufazzatul Hayat Hospital, where we're conducting teleconsults. So every week, my colleagues from the UK and different countries, and also in America, see patients through the Skype system. Fahim Nanjani is in charge, and Anali, and these people are doing a marvelous job through this particular center, treating patients by involving the doctors of Mufazzatul Hospital and consultants over here to give them advice about the management of difficult patients. Now, we also are very actively involved in developing educational centers in different countries. So this is a picture where 2 years ago, 2017, we met the Deputy Education Minister of Iran to look into the possibilities of establishing a medical college in a non-speaking country, non-English speaking country in Europe. So we're thinking of Vienna or Bosnia or even as far as Azerbaijan. So this is a group meeting. The project is still in the pipeline because of reasons that everyone knows. There have been problems, economic and so forth, but inshallah one day we'll succeed. Then we are very, very actively involved in developing educators, teachers in medical sciences. So this was a conference that we conducted in India, in Hyderabad, through the courtesy of Mr. Ehsan Zaidi, who's sitting in the middle, and Ali Mehdi, who's my right hand, in Scotland. Faculty from Edinburgh went there. So we're trying to link up Karbala Medical College with Edinburgh Medical College so that the faculty could be trained online through Skype, through exchange programs. And this was a workshop that was conducted, no more than a workshop, so 2-day conference and 2 days of workshops in Hyderabad in February last year. And this is Surgeon Ehsan Zaidi, who's standing in the middle. He's from London, very active member of IMI and Board of Regents, and faculty from Edinburgh. And on the right side, this gentleman who's standing here with a pink shirt is my colleague in Karbala, Ali Abu Tahin, who was extremely helpful in developing this conjecture. It all started when in 2016 I visited Karbala as a member of the Arba'in Mission, and I met a dean of Karbala University, who was sitting here on the left side, and it's a workshop that we conducted for these students and the faculty that I conducted, and I met these people that we could develop their faculty, enhance it in terms of medical education. So it's a picture of that historical picture, because since then we moved on. And in September this year, we held a wonderful workshop, 2 days of activities in Karbala itself. People came from Baghdad and Basra and Balad and Kufa and Babylon and different places. About 300 people came over to learn from 40 tutors, medical tutors, who went with us in September last year. So this is a picture where you can see Professor Mulazim Bukhari and different teachers also faculty of Karbala and Kufa and Najaf and Babylon and different universities, Asad Ali Shah and Professor Shahzad, all these people. It was a wonderful 17 workshops and 2 days of lectures were carried out. Tabassum Zahra and Fatima Jawad from Karachi, very famous people were there. A very important thing that we're doing at the moment is developing an encyclopedia, Islamic encyclopedia of Islamic encyclopedia of medical ethics on behalf of IMI in collaboration with different countries, experts in different countries. We're actively engaged in developing this major project. Hopefully in the next year or two we should be able to publish it. That will be a monumental work because a lot of questions are rising every day, and this is the need of the time. I have been conducting these workshops and conferences and giving lectures, and my colleagues have been doing it for a long time. People are more knowledgeable than myself, so we engage them with a view to develop a compendium of Islamic medical ethics, which will become a source of reference in due course of time, inshallah. Another important thing that we are doing is that with the help of Professor Shahzad of Lahore University, of Punjab University, we have created a course to develop a certification course on behalf of Karbala University. It will go inshallah to Kufa and different universities in collaboration with Medics International Virtual University, which we established 2 years ago. So we're trying to develop certification courses so that these courses can then assist people to enhance the faculty. They can develop their expertise through collaboration of the international teachers in medical sciences. So this course is available, inshallah soon we'll be able to do that. Now this was a conference, the last conference we had, a global conference which is mainly concentrated with USA, but it was basically for all people who could reach there. That was held in California from December 14 to 16, massively attended, vast number of lectures, workshops, conferences, everything was carried out, and this is all available on IMI's webpage. Now this is the thing that I'll finally come to the topic of discussion today, that for a long time we've been very actively engaged in developing projects for the elderly, because in this particular society in the West there is an acute shortage of let's say help, in terms of domestic help, not in terms of just the domestic help for the what you call domiciliary services, but also family care, because people are busy. I mean, everybody is busy. People, even though we have loved ones with us, our children, our family, our brother and sister and sibling, we are closely knitted families, but everybody is busy. So elderly are suffering to a certain extent, and this experience after a long survey that we did, that we need to develop some services where a respite could be offered to the family, the loving family who are taking care of their elderly parents and elderly grandparents, etc., etc. But even they need some respite, so we've been working on it. So we started this. I started thinking about it in 2013 for a particular reason, and then we started developing this project, which we call IMI Keep Well project. It all started with the help of Mr. Askari Taqvi, a senior citizen of South London, a very seasoned bureaucrat from Pakistan, and Ali Mehdi, who is an orthopedic surgeon. We called this project IMI Keep Well project, and it started working in simple fashion, like about 10-15 people, elderly people will get together. Maulana Shamim Subtain Saab kindly, he passed away, his family gave us a space in Streatham. So once a week the elderly will meet there, talk to each other, talk about different experiences, share their personal griefs and happiness and joys, and read a story, recite a soul salam, etc. Just to get together, have lunch together, say prayers, and that was the objective to begin with. But that's a long project, it's been going on since 2016, it's been going on. So I'll move on. The objectives are defined here. The objectives were that to provide quality, affordable senior living services with respect and dignity, because the important thing is that even if people are living, if there is no dignity of life, if there is no respect, then that becomes a very, very troublesome life. And dignity is an important segment. and faith and traditions of the elderly have to be observed. And the objective was to build, manage and replicate senior living facilities that are sensitive to faith and culture and traditional needs in answer to the growing demands for such facilities. And also the objective was to provide support and care to the community regardless of age and need, but particularly the elderly people and sometimes people who have other issues like mental health issues and retardation, etc. So the other objective was to improve the local economy by enhancing employment opportunities as well as volunteer opportunities available through the IMI network. Also to build knowledge and skills within the IMI membership base regarding senior living needs, management and services. So obviously in order to expand the services to maybe not just South London but also different parts of the country, because everywhere the problem is the same. Elderly are there and ages, as we all know, the population is growing and the services are not available. Even if they are available, they are not culture sensitive or faith sensitive. Often there are problems and people have found it difficult. And of course the most important thing was to maximize the quality of life for the families, allowing supporting family members to further their professional and social responsibilities as we provide their loved ones with care, individual support that encourages independence and freedom, so that elderly should feel they're independent, they're not a liability. We love them, we take care of them, it's a joy, the pride, and that's the difference between the Eastern culture and the Western culture. For us, the elderly are the loved ones, we respect them, we love them, we have everything is for them, but sometimes even that becomes difficult because people have their lives and children have to go to schools or hospitals or works, etc., and sometimes it creates difficulties. I can't say much about it. Lots of people have experienced these things and lots of stories that I can discuss. Now, we started this project in 2013 and identified as a small pilot project in Wandsworth area, south of South London. And we found out the 500. This is the data which Ali Mehdi kindly gathered through personal contacts, and we were hoping that we'll gather more data, but because of certain restrictions and changes in the policies, we've not been able to gather all the data, though we're working on it. Then we said that we should have a work stream. So work stream 1 was to start a spiritual or psychological care service. Work stream 2 was to have a daycare. 3 was to home care services, and then go to respite care, even nursing home care. This was the phase structure that we decided 2013-14, started working more actively in 2016. So this is one picture of the Keep Well program that we started in Streatham, and you can see Dr. Hadi Kadiwal, Maulana Raza, Sahib Qibla, and different elderly people. I think Mr. Askari Taqvi is standing in the middle there, and all these people have been regularly meeting since then, once a week on a Wednesday. They come over there, sometimes doctors like myself and Dr. Hadi Kadiwal, Yadullah, and many people have visited, and Shamsi has been very helpful in providing psychological support. So we discuss with them health issues, give them talk, discuss about various, and between themselves they talk to each other and find out if there's anything that can be shared. The objective is to ventilate, to meet, to develop cohesion, understanding, camaraderie, and this has been going on very actively since 2016. So it's almost 2.5, 3 years. So like I said, these are the work streams that we decided. Spiritual care services, and Maulana comes over, gives us a talk, and we always we welcome them to tell us more about the religious aspects. Then day service, then home care, these, and eventually we're thinking that we'll also have a residential home, because there are some people, I know personally in South London and different places, where even though they have the facilities, they have the funds, but they feel that they're isolated. Loneliness is a major, major problem. I have seen people in my practice, and I've surveyed, and people have told me that many times, even if everything is available, what is missing is the company, and that becomes a major issue. So sometimes a residential home might be an answer. The ultimate aim was that in 2020, if there is a demand, some families and patients may still choose the option of home care, so that we could send experts to their home to take care of the elderly. Of course, that requires huge resources. We talked about various things that will need to CQC compliance will be necessary, and since the government funding is an issue, that may be a major problem. But we're working on it, and we're working not only here but also in America, where IMI is very strong, and I'll give you an example of what has been achieved there. The objective was that perhaps at some stage we could develop a care home where long-term stay, permanent living under the care of trained personnel like sheltered accommodation, etc. could be. You see, we should not be sensitive about these. We should be more open-minded, because we are living in different times. It was different in India and Pakistan or back home, where services available, domestic staff was available, people in the families, cousins, relatives, people would come. Here, everybody is so busy that there's no time. Even if the family is there, loving family is there, but you still need some respite. You need care. You need people to come and attend to you, and that, I think, is something we have to accept. We have no intention of breaking the family or culture issue. It is not that. It is not a sensitive issue, not a question of breaking up the families. The objective is to support these families, the elderly living with their families, with their brothers and sisters and children. They should live indefinitely there, and may God give them long life. But also, sometimes they also need support. They need some respite, some care. They want to take a break, go away, and there's nobody to take. And I have several examples where people have come to us and said, is there any facility available where we could leave our elderly even for a couple of days? And the ultimate goal, at least this has been my dream, to develop a village for the elderly Momineen, providing comfort to the community, living with the like-minded for culture and faith-sensitive issues. There is an example that in Jafriya Center in Toronto that Maulana Jafri Sahib Qibla, Maulana Rizvi Sahib established, and I visited that 2 years ago, and I hope to go again inshallah in August, visit it. And it's a wonderful example where the community centers have been developed. I know it's happened in DC, it's happening in Maryland, that people have got together within the idaras, in the neighborhood of the idaras, to develop their sheltered homes. Then there is an example of Hegley Village in Birmingham. If you go on Hegley Road, there's a new township that's developed where it's a beautiful environment. You go there and you enjoy it. There's a cafe, there's a walking area, sitting area, single room, double rooms. So people who've retired and they want to live with their people of their own kind could go there and live indefinitely, or as long as Allah has given them life. Then Sakina Naqvi is a great promoter of this particular, and a great thinker and promoter of this particular cause. She developed an American model. I have complete details of it. Those who are interested, I'll be happy to share. I can't do it here because it's a very voluminous subject. So Sakina did a lot of work, and she has been very active in Florida. Now, what has happened in the last a year and a half, maybe 2017, that IMI USA and global IMI got engaged in developing funds, and they've bought 30 acres of land in New Jersey. The objective is to develop the permanent headquarters, because IMI is expanding so rapidly, to also have an auditorium, a library, a seminar room, and then most important thing from my point of view, an assisted living area. There should be about 25, or I'm not entirely sure it was 25 or 40, but a fair number of assisted living rooms and facilities will be built over a period of the next 4 to 5 years. Substantial amount of money has been raised, and we're working on it. Inshallah, one day it will come. The dream will come true. So that is going to be a major project. Now, in 2019, moving on, what happened was that in January this year, Ali Jafri is a volunteer. He's a wonderful person at Idara. I see him all the time in various projects and things. I approached him on the way to, I think we were going to, after Eid and Namaz, and I met him in the tube and said, look, this is what I want to do. And said, yes, he could certainly introduce me to some people who are interested. And we got engaged with a particular group, and I'll mention to you in a moment. So Ali Jafri arranged a meeting with a group of people, a social service already operating in Wandsworth, authoritarian tutoring by the name of Mushkil Asan. Ali Jafri has been their IT consultant for a long time. So on 14th of January, Ali Jafri and Alamdar, a social worker, we went to see this particular lady by the name of Sister Nasreen, and we were very impressed with their work. They've been doing it for the last 25 years. So we said if it's a Mushkil Asan, then we can develop on behalf of Idara and IMI and our social group of South London, call it Mushkil Kusha, interface between Mushkil Asan and IMI's different groups. And this is what services will be offered. Domiciliary care, primary care, personal care, toileting, managing incontinence, manual lifting and handling, bathing and shower and washing, oral hygiene, skin and hair care to the elderly and those who need it, services coordination, dressing, and they are already doing these services. Home care in the form of house cleaning, taking care of the general things like buying groceries, for example, laundry, ironing, pension collection, for example. There are some people, I know one particular gentleman I meet sometimes, I see him struggling to walk up to to collect his pension. Then shopping is a major issue. So this Mushkil Asan group can provide these services to the elderly. Even prepare the food. Respite care at home, family members needing to travel on short-term holiday for family and friends, going away for maybe a short break. This is a wonderful opportunity that these elderly could be taken care of by Mushkil Asan group, and they are volunteers for maybe 2 days or 5 days or 7 days or even longer. So that is also available. Then a very important service is the palliative care, faith and culture sensitive palliative care for the terminally ill. This is an important issue because this is a growing problem. I think a lot of us have experienced these things, so that service is important. The night care is available if one wants, but that has to be negotiated because sometimes this staff may not be available, but it can be considered. Then volunteering is a very important. Support to elevate loneliness. Like I said, loneliness is a major issue here. I've seen in clinical practice, people who come and tell us as doctors that, my problem is loneliness. And loneliness leads to lots of other things like depression, psychosis, and numerous others. So this one particular lady who Mushkil Asan group told us, who comes to visit them once a week only to see the faces, to listen to them, to talk to them, to listen to stories, to see what's happening. So that is an important thing, and we have to be careful that these are the issues. Then the escort service is available, transport to GPs, hospitals, health services, physiotherapy, collection of medicines. Bereavement support is very important. If somebody has a tragedy in the family, you can talk to them. There's one day I was sitting with Sister Nasreen, and somebody called on the phone, and all she wanted was to find out where the coffin could be arranged. And I know myself, I have been approached many times, and it's a very sensitive issue that I cannot discuss here. People have actually said that they're concerned about, the elderly are concerned that children who have been lost to the society may, God forbid, cremate them or may not bury them properly. And only last week I was told this when we had this meeting with the Social Service Citizen Advisory Bureau with Ahsan Raza sitting there and many other people, that people have actually come. Two brothers have fought between themselves that whether their father who passed away should be buried in coffin or should be buried in the suit that he was wearing. Now that is a state of affair where you need people who understand the culture, who know the faith, and who know the importance of kafan, tadfeen, tajiz wa takfeen, and these elements. So these services are important, and they are now available to the Mushkil Asan and interface with the Idara and social circles of South London and IMI's volunteers. Counseling, domestic violence are major problems, family breakdowns, isolations, professional support to explore, enhance, and investigate a career. All these services are now available. Advocacy and accessing community care. And this, on 24th February, when we had this meeting in Idara, A couple of ladies came over for Wandsworth Council. They gave us all the information that's available to the elderly, how they can approach the government authorities for their benefits. Lots of people don't even know what benefits they're entitled to. Then Ahsan Raza, who runs the Citizen Advisory Bureau, he kindly told us, and the people who were there, about 50 odd people on 24th of February in Adara, that how they can benefit with just approaching, just giving them a call, talking them to finding out as to what rights they have. Many people have been living here forever and they have no idea what benefits, like housing benefits, psychiatric services, occupational therapies, educational support, and many more services. So these are the services that now, inshallah, we'll be able to offer. So on 24th of February, we held a seminar in Adara Jafria Tooting, which was duly attended by approximately 50 community members, mostly elderly people, very young people as well. There were ladies and gents, Ali Jafri, myself, Sister Naseem, and of course Ahsan Raza and representative of social services from Wandsworth Council. They explained the facilities and services available to the community. We expect that if the services, if people utilize these services, we might be able to replicate it to different areas of London, even to Birmingham, to Luton, to Manchester, to Bradford, and to Edinburgh. Because now that we have a link up with a service that's already available, which is faith-based and culture sensitivity, all that is needed, we have to promote it so that people should not go looking for services and feel deprived. Services are available and they can contact Ali Jafri, and I think at the end I will give the names and the numbers of the people who can be contacted. This is the project team. Mr. Askari Takwi, who's a senior member of our community, is the executive lead, and I assist him as best I can. Ali Jafri is the project lead, he's an IT consultant, very active member of our community. His phone number is given here. If you call him for any kind of services that you need that I mentioned, he will be able to arrange a meeting with Mushkil Ahsan and IMI's leadership, and also social services that are available through Ahsan Raza and Citizens Advisory Bureau. Whatever we can offer, we'll be happy to do that. Alamdar Hussain is a wonderful person, very active member of the social group, and he is engaged with me in developing this project to the second level. Hopefully, inshallah, in a few years' time, we'll be able to establish a residential home. Alamdar is actively engaged in developing that project. Ali Mehdi, like I said, he's an orthopedic surgeon in Scotland. He is the Ruhe Rawa. He started the whole thing in 2015-16, and it's been very active. Ahsan Raza, like I said, he is a very active member of Idara and a social worker. He runs his charities, he's running charitable schools in different parts of Pakistan, in remote areas, and a lot of good work that he's doing. He's available to advise for any citizen advisory services. Waziada is a maxillofacial dental surgeon. He's been very actively engaged in developing different projects in the past and is engaged even now in helping us to establish the center. Ishtiyaq Abzi is a real estate person who is helping us to develop this project further to take to a second level, so we can buy out a center, we can establish our own residential home, which is culture and faith sensitive. Inshallah, that will come. Of course, Sister Naseem, like I said, our Mushkil Ahsan group, who started this project about 25 years ago, and she's been working with different community groups, providing all these services in Tooting and different areas, and not just Tooting and Wandsworth, but elsewhere also, and her number is available here. And now I'd like to finish this off with what we are doing in the next year on behalf of IMI. That was a community project that I mentioned, but we're also going globally. We're doing different things in different countries. So I'm going to run this, if I can activate this. It's a small video.
Work hard every day. You touch patients' lives every day. You change their lives every day. You take away pains and bring smiles every day. You are a compassionate surgeon. You are a seasoned physician. You are a perioperative nurse. You are a healer. You are an inspiration. In a race to cure the suffering, you forget the most important person in your life. You. That's why we want to give you your time.
I think I'll have to go back on this. And run this once more, because I think so this is a conference that's coming up in I think conference that we are running inshallah in December this year, December 2019. The intention is, if I can run this video properly, I might be able to. Conference will be held in Karachi and Islamabad, and the intention is that we invite as many people as we can. I think I'm going to run it again for the benefit of people.
Work hard
Technical
every
reasons.
day. You touch patients' lives every day. You change their lives every day. You take away pains and bring smiles every day. You are a compassionate surgeon. You are a seasoned physician. You are a perioperative nurse. You are a healer. You are an inspiration. In a race to cure the suffering, you forget the most important person in your life. You. That's why we want to give you your time. We want you here. Come to Pakistan, the land of culture, colours, heritage, astounding beauty, and great food. Come to the land of purity. Come and be part of Medics International Silver Jubilee celebrations in Karachi on 24th and 25th of December, and in Islamabad from 28th till 29th December 2019. Rejuvenate your passion for care. Make lifelong connections. And witness the astounding humanitarian work done by Medics International. And while you do this, witness the majestic beauty of Pakistan. And let the spices and aroma of Pakistani food create a symphony in your mouth. Return home awakened, inspired, and transformed. See you in Pakistan.
So, what we hope to do is that, inshallah, doctors, physicians, nurses, dentists, paramedics, people who are related to medical profession, students, and community at large, welcome to come to Pakistan in December 2019 at the Silver Jubilee event, which is a major event in Karachi, Islamabad. We will also have a few sessions in Lahore, inshallah, where global fraternity will come to teach and share the experiences from different countries, different worlds. We have teachers from Harvard to Cambridge to Oxford to London to Edinburgh to Kufa and Basra and of course famous universities in India and from Lucknow and Jaipur and Hyderabad and and many universities in Pakistan like Lahore and Karachi and the Aga Khan University. They all engage. The College of Physicians, Surgeons in Pakistan is also being approached. So hopefully, inshallah, that will be a major event that we hope that inshallah you'll be able to join. I'd like to just complete this discussion by saying that IMI has been actively engaged for the last 25 years in service, in providing service to humanity in different regions. As I said earlier on, that we have the moment services in 15 countries and all the continents. In Africa we have a major thing, in Europe of course, and now we're going to Scandinavia. Inshallah, every day the service is expanding. I'm only a humble servant of IMI, a foot soldier, but my senior colleagues and junior as well as young people, they're working tirelessly to serve humanity through different sources. Like I said in the beginning, the objective is to serve mankind. And our fields are health and education, so we're serving them to providing health care, carrying out any services that are needed in disaster relief, but more importantly, in the last couple of years, we have gone more and more towards international education. Medical education is our field, so we are teaching and training people across the world. Telemedicine we started recently, that's catching up, and that's going to be the future of medicine across the world. And like I said, we are working on the Encyclopedia of Islamic Medical Ethics, and we are also working on different projects in different countries, helping and assisting them by providing technical support and expertise. See, we cannot do everything ourselves, and we need funds, we need donations, and this is an appeal that goes out to the world at large. Please come and help us, and we'll take care of the humanity to the best of our ability. One just project, the project that I've just shown you in a moment ago, the service to humanity through various groups are working in South London. One of them is Mushkil Asan, and we are providing and helping them and helping the community to link up with that service to provide different services to the elderly and those who need. At this stage, I'd like to say thank you to all those who've listened or watched this video. I'm grateful to Ahlabad TV for providing this service. Thank you, and we'll meet again. Khuda Hafiz.